Hi, Barks. How you doing? Great to see you.
But good to see you too, mate. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm excellent. But it's not about me, it's about you because you very kindly agreed to tell me about your experience of working with me now that you've hit 100 days alcohol free. Congratulations,
I
my friend.
I certainly have. Yeah, I have hit 100 days. I think it might be 105 now. I'm on, but yeah, it was yeah, it's been fantastic. Loved it.
Amazing. So take me back to 105 days ago. What was your relationship like with alcohol at that point?
My relationship with alcohol at that point was regular, constant, if you like. I probably drank most days, 6 days a week, probably. A normal, what I used to call a normal drinker, where you just come home from work, you've had a hard day,
Hmm.
you'd have a couple of glasses of wine, um, which may turn into a bottle of wine, and that may happen, most days during the week, and then probably a little bit more than that at weekends. So, yeah, that was pretty much a normal week for me. I would normally have a couple of days off somewhere along the line. But yeah, 5 or 6 days a week I would drink. I tried not to drink massive amounts, obviously, with work the next day, but it would normally be certainly very few alcohol-free days during the week.
Mm. So what was it then that actually made you decide to, want to invest in this program and, and get involved in alcohol-free coaching?
Well, there's always a curiosity. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, so I've been a drinker for 40 years pretty much. So there's a curiosity within you that you do know deep down that you are drinking too much. But that decision doesn't come straight away. Then 6 months down the line, after you're sort of curious that you may be drinking a little bit too much, you then try to moderate, and you realise you can't moderate, and that's when you think, oh well, hold on a minute, I'm going to have to look into this. So I sort of realised then that now I'm curious, but I wanted to think. I didn't really know an awful lot about coaching, so I was going to try and white knuckle it. So I did. I did try and white knuckle it.
So you
Uh,
so you
uh,
taken breaks before, or did you try to cut back
not
before?
not massively long breaks. I think I would have gone 2 weeks. So just the willpower,
Uh-huh.
and then something would come up, a social occasion or whatever, and within a month you'd be straight back to square one. So I knew moderation's not going to work.
Mm.
So, I even looked into hangover cures. So,
We're always looking for
uh,
shortcuts, right? If there's an easier way of
yeah,
doing it, you're going to do it.
exactly. So I was conscious that was happening. So then, yeah, I thought coaching came up as one of the things on a Google search,
Uh-huh.
and I thought I'd look into it. Yeah, so that's what made me curious. And then you have the desire. So you starts with curiosity,
Yeah.
and then desire comes in, desire to stop for a bit, take a break, which is what I
So
wanted
would,
to do.
was there anything in particular that, perhaps you were afraid of losing, about taking a break from alcohol?
Yeah, very much so at the start. I thought my entire social life would collapse because most of my socials were all about drinking. All my friends drink.
Mm.
We go out regularly on Fridays and Saturdays with friends. So yeah, I did think yeah, I was quite concerned that I might lose all that, if you like, if I stopped drinking, which is why I always went through the moderation side of things.
Yeah, I think it's quite common, isn't it? I think people just assume that if they stop drinking, their life's going to be boring, it's going to be empty, it's going to be joyless. And has that been the
Yeah.
case for you?
No,
I
I
teed you up there
know.
knowing what the answer was going to be.
It's been the exact opposite. It really has. No, it hasn't been anything like that. I thought at the start you do think that it's going to come with a lot of goodbyes, as I've said before.
Yeah,
It's
I love this. Go on, repeat what you said.
yeah.
This is the best thing ever. Go on, tell me.
I thought it was going to be when I started this. Then I thought it was going to be, goodbye to nights out, goodbye to fun times, goodbye to nights down the pub watching football. But it wasn't. It was the exact reverse. It was, goodbye to foggy mornings, goodbye to hangovers, goodbye to anxiety, goodbye to sleepless nights, and goodbye to excess weight, I'm happy to
Yeah, so
say. So,
go on. How
yeah,
much weight have you lost?
2 stone.
2 stone in 100. So you must have been in the gym every day, right?
No, it was just putting
It's just come off.
yeah, it's just putting the beer glass down. And
Ah,
honestly, the longer you go into the process, you realise why. So you can go on as many darts as you like. You put your beer glass down for 3 months, it's going to fall off you.
it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it just yeah, it's such an amazing fix for any sort of excess weight. You just stop all those calories going, the weight just falls off. It's yeah, it's really really incredible. So what else have you gained on this 100-day alcohol-free adventure?
Oh, I've gained so much tolerance. I've gained certainly. I get a lot of tolerance.
How do you mean? What you
I've
kind of
yeah, I'm not as quick-tempered as I used to be. Things don't bother me anymore. So I suppose you could
mm.
call I've gained a lot of peace, if you like. I've certainly gained a new wardrobe because nothing fitted. So
Careful what you wish for.
yeah, exactly. So that's been quite an expensive side of it. But yeah, I've gained lots of things. The sleep has been a big one for me. Yeah, I
Mm.
don't know if you could call it sleep because I say to my wife, it's not, you can't just say sleep's improved. You literally go into a coma for 6 hours. That's what pretty much happens. And then you wake up revitalized. You no longer get this wake up in the middle of the night, always the witching hours, I think you call it.
Yeah.
But between 3 and 4 a.m., which is your body, resetting itself. So yeah, you can go straight through. And I haven't had that for many, many years, which is, I
Mm.
mean, that's nice. I
Decades.
look forward, yeah, decades. I look forward to putting my head down on the pillow. There's something very, very comforting in going to sleep sober.
It's beautiful, isn't it? You just wake up with such energy and just want to. And I know, obviously we speak most days to be honest,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
fantastic. I think we've become quite close. And I know you send me videos when you're out on your bike in the mornings, and I remember you saying when we first started that you love playing golf and you love going out on your bike. You've got like a high power ballot bike. I can't remember
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah. I
they
love
call them,
exercise.
and you weren't able to do it because you felt hungover. You didn't feel like you should be in control of a high power bike like that. And now you're just out there early in the mornings on your bike. It's just wonderful. It's brilliant.
It's bliss. It's now. I mean, I've had all these hobbies, and I suppose I was slightly fortunate in a way because when you do stop drinking, it does leave a little bit of a gap in your life because of
Mm,
the social times and stuff like this, things that you'd normally do when you would have been drinking. But now when I wake up on a weekend or even a sunny evening, especially in the summer, you can get out and do stuff. I've got so much I can do, whereas before I was held back. On a Sunday morning, I missed so many bike rides and rounds of golf because I was hungover from the Saturday before. And you notice certainly when I'm playing golf, or especially with a motorcycle, I've got so many more wits about me when I'm on it.
mm.
So, as I say, I ride like I stole it now. So, and I feel like I'm being safe. So I've had all these things going on in the background that I've never used. And now all of a sudden, when I stop drinking for the 100 days, I go on them. The
Yeah,
bicycle's been a great addition, really
yeah. I know you
has.
love that.
It was brand new, literally in the wrappers, and I haven't used it. Soon as I stop drinking, now I can't stay off of it. It's great fun.
Well, that's cool. And how's your relationship with your wife and your son been over the last? How's that changed over the last 100 days?
Yeah, that's certainly got a lot better. I'm a different person. I think my wife's getting to know who I am. I didn't think she'd quite see the change that she's seen in me. She just thought, okay, because my wife doesn't really drink that much, so she's
Mm,
got nothing to compare it to. She always sleeps well. She is moderate to no drink. So for her, I think it was she wanted to see how it was going to develop because all the other times I tried on willpower alone, I would be a little bit grumpy, should we say? But
mm.
this time hasn't been like that.
So what do you
So
put that down to? What do you think the big difference is between doing it on your own versus us working together? What's the difference
that's
there?
the talking and the support you get for me. That's been paramount. I mean, basically, a coach gives you the tools, but also shows you the way, which I've found wonderful. I've listened to all the things that you've said, and we have our weekly meetings and our little videos, which are really helpful. And the literature, I've learned so much about alcohol, and I was lucky that I hooked into it. I got really into it, focused on it,
Mm,
which is obviously I have ADHD, so ADHD is one of two things. So if it doesn't If it doesn't rock your boat, you just dismiss it.
Mm.
Simple as that. Not having it. Not interested in the slightest. But if it grips your attention, then you'll focus. And
Yeah.
this, because this is something I wanted to do, James, I was focused from the off, which is wonderful. That's when ADHD is a superpower.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we've got. We'll come on to talk a little bit about our alcohol-free social group in a second, but there's I think there's about 3 or 4 people in there who have ADHD, and I speak to a lot of people on Instagram who reach out who have ADHD, and I think you've just absolutely nailed it there because it it can be a superpower when you because I see this all the time with people that we work with who have ADHD. Once they turn their minds to something, it's like a it's like a switch flicks in their head, and they're like, "I'm doing it," and it just I've just seen that's exactly what you've done. You've been laser focused on it, and you've just done it.
And
Brilliant.
happy to do it. This is the difference of not doing it with willpower. Willpower is not a big enough tool.
No.
And the thing is, there will be someone out there who can go 28 days just on willpower alone, or 30 days just on willpower alone. But I don't think you're happy to do it just on willpower. It's a constant battle between your ears, willpower, I think.
Yeah, it is. It
One
is, and
side you're
you're.
saying you can drink, and one side of you saying I can't drink. And I think the greatest expression that I think you get the change with coaching is you go from I can't drink to I don't want one, and that's a fantastic. That's such a wonderful expression. You don't want it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think well that's the objective, isn't it? Because you can't say to people, okay, you can never have a drink. If you say to somebody no, then you just want it. People, we're not good with no, and I think it is about you're completely right. It's about reducing that desire, and I think you mentioned the books there at the beginning and kind of really getting into the learning side of it. That really helps change your
Mm.
mindset, but also focusing on what actually is it that this thing that I'm putting on a pedestal is doing for me. Why do I give it such credence? And that's part of I think where coaching helps people reflect on, is it really this great thing that you think it is? That is this really this source of fun that you can't do without? And I think you've completely challenged that and focused on all of the amazing stuff that's come as a result of not drinking. And when I think when you recognize that trade-off and you think, yeah, you know what, it's not what I thought it was. And by the way, I've also got all of this great stuff happening on the other side as well.
And this is the thing that spurs you on because all these great things that start happening are too great to ignore.
Mm.
So you start thinking, well, you start doubting your relationship with alcohol. I mean, I think you knew when I started this entire journey that I wanted moderation. That's what I came
Yeah.
on board for. I was quite certain and I was quite firm with you that I just want moderation.
Yeah, well, that's not uncommon. I'll be honest. 9 out of 10
No.
people that I work with come into it and they say, "I don't want to stop drinking forever. I just want to get control back." And I'm like, "Yeah, cool. Tell me how you feel about
Yeah.
that in 100 days." and,
You
and I don't
must
think
know.
I know exactly how it's going to play out because the
Yeah.
thing is when you get to the 100 days, and to be honest, tell me if I'm wrong, but it was way before 100 days where you'd already made a choice that, you know what, I'm going to carry on after the 100 days because it just becomes an absolute no-brainer. It's a non-question because why would you? Right? I mean, you tell me.
Yeah.
It's your experience, not mine. I'm not trying to guide you, but that's pretty much it, right?
That's it. You just don't, you can't, I couldn't think I think after probably week four, you struggle to think of a valid, you don't really get any triggers. You struggle to think of a valid reason why you would want an alcoholic drink after the last sort of 3 weeks you've had of joy.
Mm.
You find all these things that are happening. You're looking at your weight loss. You've no longer got anxiety. Your skin's getting better. Your eyes no longer look like one of the Simpsons. It's everything is starting to come together. Your body's
Yeah.
giving you
Quickly,
all
yeah.
this stuff back. Yeah, it's ridiculously fast how quick the transformation happens. Just
Mm.
in 3 months, how different you can look.
Mm.
And it's this that keeps spurring you on. Why would I want to go back to that bloated, fat, red-faced Toby Jug
I
face
know.
I
I'm
had?
gonna when I edit this video, and I know I'll have your approval to this. I'm going to put a picture
Of
of the
course, yeah.
before and after because you shared them with me many times, and I'll put it up in a second so people can kind of see the change. And it's just been phenomenal, absolutely. And so considering like how far you've come in those 100 days, it must have been really difficult, right? It must have been really hard.
Well, I went into it thinking it's going to be absolutely brutal. And I will be honest, the first week, I struggled a little bit with the first week
Yeah,
because
I know.
I'm missing having my evening wine, and my first weekend was strange.
Mm,
I set things up to do, go for a cycle, go for a walk, but it was all sort of stuff just to get me out of the house. So I wasn't quite enjoying the process as yet. Week two, you start to feel a little bit, oh, I slept well last night because that takes a while to come back. But
it does.
after sort of week three, week four, it gets easier. So everything. I mean, I never say I'm out of the woods, as you say. I'm always I'm still a bit fragile, but the whole journey itself has been extremely easy. But it's been enjoyable.
Yeah.
Probably easy is not the right word. It's been
No.
enjoyable.
That's crazy though, isn't it? Because if you go back to before we started speaking, and I'm pretty sure that anyone who kind of sees me yapping on Instagram, if I said to them, this isn't something you're going to have to endure for 100 days. This is going to be something that you thoroughly enjoy doing. People will be thinking like, yeah, pull the other one, mate. But that's the reality of it, right? That's been how it has been for you. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be easy, and when I saw your Instagram posts, I was probably the same, and you will be like that. I was the same as everyone else. Yeah, it can't be that easy. And the first couple of weeks, I would say, are certainly a little bit trying, depending on the
Yeah.
amount of alcohol you're drinking. It's not. This isn't sort of a for people who drink ridiculous amounts or an alcoholic. This is someone who wants to reset their association with alcohol because you have a little inkling, and you will get an inkling if you're drinking too much or you drink too much. And
Mm,
that's, I think, what the process for me was for. I was drinking far too much and I knew it, but I didn't really know what to do about it. But
mm.
the adventure I've been on, I love calling it adventure, I know you do,
Yeah.
has been euphoric because it is a 100-day adventure to try and meet the person that you've always wanted to be. That's how I felt it is because I couldn't be any more happier the way my life is at the moment. It's
Oh, that's
wonderful.
so cool. That's so wonderful to hear. So we have a Sunday social alcohol free community, which is a Zoom call, which we do once a week with everybody else who's on my program, which is normally around sort of 10 to 12 people at a time. And you've been really active in that, and you've met a whole lot of other people who are on an alcohol free adventure. How have you found the experience of the Sunday social?
The Sunday social for me, yeah, that's it's just a club that you go into every Sunday morning and you meet. Well, they're all friends now. I class them all as friends, and you're going through the same thing. So it's great for me. It's you're doing your own adventure, but you're also going through theirs with them. And I don't want it to sound like some sort of AA meeting because it's
No,
not. It's
no,
just it's just a social gathering.
it could not be more different from an AA meeting because
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
people sat there
Yeah,
going, "Oh, my life's really miserable. I can't stop
yeah,
drinking." My name's Barclay. I'm an alcoholic, which you are. You never
exactly.
were. It's all about
Yeah,
celebration, right? And
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And you just, I mean, I think a lot of the time we don't talk about alcohol. We just talk about everything else, which is
yeah,
lovely. But what we do is we compare our little stories about what's happened to us during the week. If we perhaps had a bit of bad news and we still didn't drink the glass of wine, and that's happened, and this happened, because life still
of
happens,
course it
and
does. Yeah.
it's lovely getting an insight into their lives as well.
Do you
And
think
as you
that's
know, they're all around the world.
Yeah, we've got people all
They're
over the
not
place.
local.
No,
Yeah,
USA, Japan, Norway,
yeah.
Peckham. It's like but there is anyone in Peckham.
Yeah.
But I think is it fair to say that being part of that group of other people has added an extra layer of accountability almost, and because I think that's when I look at it from an outside perspective. When I was stopping drinking, the thing that I found quite hard was not having accountability. I think working with a coach gives you that. Investing in yourself gives you that as well, because you're not playing with house money. You've got skin in the game. But also when you're around other people who are doing the same thing, that adds an extra layer of accountability as well. I think, I think it anchors you to something bigger, because I think when you make the decision to take a break from alcohol, and I know you've definitely experienced this, you feel like sometimes you can feel a bit isolated, and people are like, oh, come on, Box, just have a beer. Go on, you've done 60 days. Go on, you
Yeah.
can have one. But when you've got this other collective of people, this tribe of people that are in your corner doing the same thing, I think that is a really powerful anchor. What do you think?
Yeah, massive. I mean, we've got the Sunday social on the Zoom, and we've also got the WhatsApp group, which is lovely because we're just sharing stories on that all the time. But
Yeah,
with
it's
the
nice.
accountability, yeah, you want to come in every Sunday and say, no, no, I haven't had one. Everything's been good this Sunday. I had a little trigger, I had a little wobble, and even if someone did have a little blip, it's not the end of the world, and you get behind them and just encourage them for the rest of it. So yeah, certainly it brings accountability with it.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, now you've gone past the 100 days. But yeah, what's next? What are you thinking about next?
So I'm now moving on to a year.
You're going to do the
Uh,
year. We're going to carry on
I'm,
working together.
we're going to carry on working together. I'm going to do the year because I just feel there was no, I needed after the 100 days finished. I always thought to myself, look, what am I going to do with 100 days? After that, am I going to go and get drunk and celebrate that I've got through this milestone of 3 months? And I knew I could, but after 100 days, you work out in your head that the rules now become choices. So I
Yeah,
choose, I choose
yeah.
not to drink on day 101, 102, 103 because it's so deep inside you now that why would you want to go back?
Mm.
As I've always said, it's just there's no need to go back. Why would you? Why would you ruin all that fantastic work that you've done and these great people that you've met? So I would be devastated. And life does go on, you know. You do think, right, okay, there's going to be an appropriate moment when I have a drink in the next, 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks because I'm now not doing this 100 day course. But yeah, no, it's push forward, keep going. That's the way
Wicked.
I look at it because
Uh,
I just want the peace and happiness that it brings to last. So
Nice.
why would you?
Yeah, exactly. It's no restriction. It's just meh. Why would I? And
Yeah.
you
So the next big milestone for me is 1 year.
brilliant. Can't wait to do it with you. And you've just come back from your first alcohol-free holiday as well. How is that?
God, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I went to Cyprus in a alcohol-drenched, all-inclusive 10-day holiday. Um, and I was a bit apprehensive. I remember we spoke about it that, this is going to be the first alcohol-free holiday I would have had in 40 years. So it's going to be a different experience for me. So I was always, and my 100 days, as you know, finished right in the middle of it.
It did, yeah.
So yeah, yeah, I'd made my mind up before I was going. Look, I'm just because I'm in another country, I'm going to carry it on. But obviously, you've got the sun, you relax, you all these things. Everyone's trying to encourage you to drink, even the barman while you're on holiday. But yeah, absolutely breezed it. Didn't really want any alcohol. It didn't cross my mind, and that was the thing. They had lots of zero alternatives, which is another point for anyone who's thinking or thinking sober curious. There's so many alternatives
Mm.
to alcohol. But yeah, the holiday was fantastic. I loved every second of it, and it's, as I say, my first alcohol-free holiday in 40 years. So I was
Beautiful.
very proud of myself when I came back. And I can actually remember this one. And I didn't have to apologise to anyone the next morning on it, any morning.
We've all been there. And just
Yeah.
before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask you if there's other people watching, maybe they're between the ages of 45 and 55, professionals, successful in other areas of their life, but maybe drinking a few beers or a glass of wine in the evenings, waking up at 3 a.m., telling themselves everything's fine, but wondering, is something not quite right? Do I need to make a change? But should I be investing in coaching? What would you say?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the thing with alcohol is it kills you very, very slowly while convincing you you're doing fine, while it silently takes everything. And
Mm,
anyone who's out there thinking, I'm drinking far too much, I need to cut down and moderate, because it does, you do know. So all you really need to do, or all you really need for this entire 100 day process is commitment and consistency. That's all you
mm.
need. the coach does the rest with you. So all you've got to do is commit, and you've got to be consistently turn up, because without the commitment you won't start, and without the consistency you'll never finish. So
Mm.
there's only two ingredients that you need, and everything else will fall into place. So if you think that you are a little bit sober curious, then just take advantage, like I did, of the 1 hour chat that I had with you before I decided to push the button on it. And that helped me immensely, and it helped to make my mind up, because it's totally free. You do it, and then that's, I thought, but the fact that I was speaking to you on a Zoom call, that meant I'm curious.
Yeah.
I've got that far. So, and then you have the, as I say, the will to stop. So if someone is saying, look, give it a chance. I went into the whole thing, James, thinking to myself, listen, I'm going to give this. Okay, I've paid. So that obligates you at the start. You
Yeah, I
think,
think it
right,
does. I think that makes a
yeah,
difference.
yeah, certainly. Because you think, well, I don't want to waste my money. But my game set from the absolute start was right. Okay, if I give this thing 2 weeks and it's not for me, then a drinker I will stay. So if I can't get my head around this whole process within the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, say for instance, I was going to try and give it a month. That's how I looked at
Is
it.
that, you never told me that. Really? Is that right?
No, yeah. So I was going to try and give it a month, but I thought to myself, like, if I can't do this and it's too big a hurdle for me, then I've paid for my education and I'm just going to stay a drinker. But on the other side of my mind was this other little thing saying, listen, if this thing works, Barks, it's going to change your life forever. So there was a win-win. I could go back to drinking anytime I want, and you can do that within the process. If you want to go back to drinking, you crack on. But I guarantee you won't want to, because that's
Mm.
what's happened to me. Once it's got you in, and once you see it, you can't unsee it.
That's it,
Without
isn't it?
sounding like a mad evangelist, but
No, but you're
that's
right.
how I feel. Yeah,
You're right. Once you're completely right. That's the whole point of doing 100 days is once you have a you gain a different perspective in that time, and all the books help, and all of our one-to-one conversations, you just gain a different perspective, and you can't unsee it. Then you just can't. And then
yeah, yeah.
so
The
you're
shit
not in the same
changes.
place you are at the beginning of I think say it all the time. How you feel at the end of the first week's not how you're going to feel at the end of the first month, and that's not how you're going to feel at the end of the third month. It's just going to, just like you've explained, so eloquently today, that it's consistency, and it just accumulates, and it gathers momentum and pace, and at the end of it you've just got this huge massive snowball of momentum, and that you've
It's
just built.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's not, you
Yeah.
don't feel like that on day one. It's completely different. But I'm
And the
just,
great thing about the coaching is it helps. It helps because you pretty much at the time when you start, I can speak to you about it, but I can't really talk to my mates about it because no one cares. They're
I
not
think we
bossing your
probably,
glass.
I think, do you know what? I think we probably spoke almost every day, didn't we, actually, for that first
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
month or so? Because I was sending you the videos every single morning, and you were always sending me a voice note back when you were out driving
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we spoke really a lot. And we still, still speaks probably a couple of times a week. But yeah, it was, and I used to love getting voice notes from you, because you were like, "This is the best thing ever I've found." You used to leave me all of these, and it was and I used it in so much of my content as well. Not confidentially. I know you're quite out there about this, and you don't mind sharing with other people. But some of the things you were saying to me about your experiences were just like, "Oh, this is brilliant. This is just gold dust."
you,
So
you feel
yeah,
like you're getting your life back, James, and that's the
yeah,
wonderful
yeah.
thing I found with it. Every day, your body gives you back another little gift for not drinking.
Mm,
May it be a little bit more of your a better skin, a little bit more sleep, a little bit more tolerance. Your energy levels, they're the great thing, because they come back, and all of a sudden you want to do stuff.
yeah.
Weekends are different. You can drive anywhere. You can go out with friends, and I still go out regularly with friends. And
Oh,
we,
you're a super social guy. You're
yeah,
a
I love
super
doing it.
social
So,
guy.
so life hasn't stopped. I still go out with them, and they can drink. I can drive. It's fine, and the conversation still flows. I've been to lots of barbecues. And as I say, the non-alcoholic stuff that's on the market now, for people my age who are probably listening, probably experience things like Caliber and
Oh,
Barbican.
I remember. Oh, Barbican, that's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah, that's showing me age
yeah,
now.
that is. Yeah, I saw an advert for that on TV a little. Sorry, on YouTube. I was a bit like, oh, I don't remember Barbican, because it used to be promoted by Sean Bean when he was
Yeah.
really young. I'll send, I've got an advert. I'll send it to you after this. But yeah, I remember Caliber pretty well, and it's yeah, it was grim times, really grim
Yeah.
times.
I even got Tesco to change the way they did stuff because I remember going in there to buy some cold beers, some cold non-alcoholic beers for Nigel's barbecue, which I was talking about,
Mm.
and there were none in the fridge. It was all alcoholic beers. Now I go into Tesco, manager was brilliant. It's like he's got a whole shelf of non-alcoholic stuff in there, and there must be some sort of revolution going on because it's getting
Oh yeah,
emptied most times.
100%, 100%. Well, look,
Yeah,
congratulations again on the 100 days.
thank
I
you.
thoroughly enjoyed working with you, and I cannot wait to go for the year. It's going to be great.
Well, on a personal note, I couldn't have done it without you, James. So thank you to
You
you
put the
too.
glass down, mate, not me.
Certainly did.
Great to see you, my friend, and I will speak
And
to you
you.
real soon. See you
All
soon.
right, mate.
Bye
Take
bye.
care.